Hey everyone, welcome to That Pedal Show. Viewers, comments and questions. Dan here.
Mick here, hello.
We've just had the most extraordinary day and I feel weird about picking up a guitar. I've got to be completely honest with you. We've had the amazing Mr. Philip Sace in with us today. And just, wow, just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Loads of you have been asking for Philip, and we've been trying to make it happen for a while, but you know, tour scheduling, Philip had some issues with his visa last time. Just, you know, where we are in the middle of nowhere is quite tough to get to. And we finally made it happen today, kind of last minute, and oh boy.
You guys are in for such a treat.
It is pretty amazing. Let's move slightly closer together, Dan.
That'd be nice, Michael.
Wouldn't it be nice? Yeah. Anyway, so welcome. We haven't been here for a couple of weeks for various reasons. Vacations, holidays, and bank holidays.
Yeah.
So thank you for being in the chat. Please let us know you can see and hear us. I don't know if you can yet or not.
Have a little bit of housekeeping to do. First of all, patrons, we owe you an apology. We didn't do a pedal giveaway in May. We will rectify that ASAP. So we'll do something in the next couple of weeks to make up for it. And a birthday shout out for Ron. Hello, Ron.
The do Ron.
The do Ron. In Encinita in California. Encinitas. Your lovely wife Hayley has been in touch and asked us to wish you a very happy birthday for last Friday, the 29th. We understand that you've taken today off work as a present to yourself. I promise we won't let your boss know. So hopefully you've tuned in live and we hope you have a fabulous day.
Happy birthday, Ron.
Happy birthday, Ron.
Happy birthday.
This chord's for you.
We like it. Oh, I do believe you can see us. We can hear you, says Ron Guitar Doc. Maybe that's you, Ron. David Pekarski says, tiny bit more to the right, Mick. Did you start? Yeah, I know. I can see in the thing. Did you start the podcast? Yes, I did. Thank you, David. Richard Pribenow is on. MW Adams is on. BV is telling me we've got super chats up the yin yang. Because we may touch on the Fender debacle tonight a little bit, but we don't want to get bogged down in it. But I guess it would be remiss of us not to say anything about it.
Yeah.
If you have questions, if you don't, we'll do the right thing and shut up about it. Philip Who says FRXD. Philip Sace. Philip Sace. Astonishing guitar player. And singer and artist and songwriter and all the rest of it.
Just beautiful human.
Michael Koning is on. Tebby Bear is on. No Regard Band is on. Palomar Sound is on. Tomothy is on. Matt Swanton, how are you? Dan Otley, how are you, Dan? Who has a lovely new... No, I won't say just in case it's a secret. Chris Parshow is on. Thomas Lintrup. AJ is on. Broken Oars, how are you, buddy? Joe Hogland. Lots of lovely friends. James Blessed, good to hear from you, bud. And Byron Krause's Big Dog.
Nice.
And Johnny T.
Johnny T.
And Zootala.
Way to be with Johnny T. And BV, thank you so much for all that you do.
Thomas Gelnar. And D. Koenig Sanctuary, which looks a bit like Donkey. I see what you've done there. I learned about donkeys this week.
Did you?
Yeah.
What's the difference between a donkey and an ass?
An ass is a half breed of a donkey and a pony, I want to say. A donkey is a thing.
A donkey is a thing.
Donkey's not like a mixture, genus or species-wise. Species-wise, have I got that right? Hear this ice cracking underneath my slender step.
But I still think you're on solid ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Because a friend of ours in Cornwall has to do with a sanctuary for dust donkeys.
Yes. There's no, see, that's the difference. There are donkey sanctuaries. There's no ass sanctuaries.
Well, they're just called different things. Imagine going into Mountain Warehouse and all they've got is outdoor gear. I love that gag. I so love that gag. Right,
That's funny.
I'm going to turn the super chats off
That is
because,
funny.
you know, that's the kind of guy I am. Yeah, Philip's left us a bit giddy, it must be said. The guy has got such dedication, attack, passion, commitment.
Oh my goodness.
All of those things that you want in music, and hearing it like in this room
So intense. So
is a reminder that used to be a more common thing. It's never been a common thing, but it used to be a more common thing, and getting to see it these days is starting to become a rare thing.
yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep.
It is. I'm sorry to say.
Very, very
I'm sorry
special.
to say. Okay, just turning the super chai off because we have quite a lot coming in. Yeah, we'll turn them off now, and then we can hopefully give lovely answers to all of them. So it's been 2 weeks since we've been here, Daniel.
Yeah.
Much has occurred.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
It's been loads of going on. I'll just say, Philip was so lovely to us today, and we've had a very lovely email, impassioned over the weekend, and it's kind of the thing where, with so much on fire, this sort of stuff makes more sense, and
Yes.
the importance of it, just getting together and hanging out, talking about things we like, things
Yeah.
we're passionate about. It's a good thing to do. It's a good thing to do.
Yes, and reminding us about ARC, about being analog and real and communal. More ARC, less div, less digital, individual and virtual if you can possibly manage it.
Mm-hmm.
Life just gets better.
Gee, it was analog today.
It just gets better.
Yes. Oh man. Oh boy. Can't wait for you to just to hear. I hope.
If you can hear, I'm going to do my
yeah.
best on the recording, all right? So, and we should say secondary thanks to Matt Schofield for lending Dan the vibratone, which we brought in for Philip today, because he's not always possible to tour with one. We know he loves it, so we brought it in, and he was happy.
Oh my goodness.
Was he not happy?
Oh my god. Well, just wonderful.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Toneback says, I'm telling my wife I'm going to the Ass Sanctuary.
Donations.
Mike Jabber says, can I squeeze in one last super chat? You can't, Mike, but ask, and we will take your question from someone who says take one from the chat. So how about that? Government ass, anyone, says Kevin the Just. Oh, Warren. Oh
boy. That's funny.
Good. Peter Kerr says, I saw Philip Sace last week in Nottingham. OMG. Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Actually, before we get going, sorry, I had a message about Philip from a TPS viewer who has lent us the Berman amp.
Oh.
And Andy, I'm really sorry. I do know your surname, but you're in my phone as Andy Berman because
the Berman amp.
you've lent the Berman. Andy, this week, raced the TT on his three-wheeler. And if you don't know what trike racing is, sidecars they're called, sorry. Sidecar racing is in motorsport on the Isle of Man, or anywhere else for that matter, get a load of this. And then we'll move on
Mick
with
sent
the
me these pictures
VCQ.
last week, and I was like, what on earth? Because you were over there, right?
It is unhinged. I wasn't over there, but he was there. It is unhinged sidecar racing. Well, any kind of motorcycle racing is unhinged, but this is especially unhinged. This is what Andy was getting up to at the TT this weekend. I might just have to turn the volume down so we don't get a copyright strike.
Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh man, I would have to wear brown trousers. That is outrageous. Look at that!
Yeah, so you see the guy on the back. He's shifting his weight.
That is incredible.
shifting his weight all over the sidecars actually go faster lap times, I think, than the two wheelers,
Oh my
and
goodness.
that's like over 200 miles an hour on roads in the Isle of Man. I was born on the Isle of Man, so the TT is close to my heart.
Oh, that's right.
And the
That's-
smell of
yeah.
Castrol is burnt onto my lungs. So, Andy, congrats for competing, mate, and I'm glad it all happened in the end.
Yeah, well done. Incredible.
Assuming that was from the TT this year, because he did send me a message just previously to say the sidecar race has been cancelled, so I'm wondering if it got reinstated. Anyway, Andy,
Well done, mate.
nerves of steel, and we will get the Berman on the show soon.
Very good.
Well, that was a tangent.
Okay.
Okay, let's get into the super chats then.
Let's do
First
it.
in this week is Ian Jeffrey. Ian, how are you? Ian has very kindly bought the Flying V.
Oh, has he?
I sold a bunch of stuff in order to, topically enough,
Oh, yeah.
buy this.
Check it out.
Which is my new custom build from Dean Cutler.
So cool. So, a couple of mini humbuckers in there. Man, I gotta say, they sound so good. I'm stunned at how beautiful that neck pickup, the clean sound and that neck
Yeah.
pickup is. Did you... So you've shifted it back from the neck.
Shifted back a bit. It looks weird, but shifted back a bit so it's
Is it...
potentially a bit clearer sounding.
Okay, but you haven't like gone for like harmonically the 24th fret or anything like that. You've just gone
No,
a
I
little
didn't
bit
even think
closer to the
about that.
bridge. Because it does sound, whatever
Yeah.
you've done, putting it in that position, it sounds, the clarity of it's outrageous.
And this it might be something that becomes relevant as the show goes on, but I didn't buy it because I wanted a better Fender or something my Strat, doesn't do. I wanted it for a fundamentally different
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
And why not buy a Parker Fly then? We're quite familiar enough, different enough. And I'm just getting to learn it. It won't be on the show just yet because it is so different. It's so different from my Fenders, and that was the whole point. And I'm just getting to learn it. Anyway, in order to fund it, I've sold a bunch of stuff. And
So the V is gone.
it's not. It's still out there, but I need to arrange Ian getting it.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I know. It's a bit sad, but sometimes.
Oh, dude. So, yeah, no, I completely get it. I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm selling, including my 62 SG, which is at ATV at the moment, because that needs to fund some stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So, mini humbuckers, a few people are saying.
Yeah, so cool.
A
It
few
sound
people
amazing.
are saying, lawsuit. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. The orange sparkle colour is just so great.
I have vlogged elements of the build, so you know, and I'll do a vlog on it in good time. But Dean, very briefly, and then we'll move on. Dean came to an experience day. He brought in a couple guitars that we really liked. He left the Blue Meanie here. Do you remember that guitar?
Blue Meanie, so cool.
Double humbucker, S-style body, and it evoked that original custom guitar feel that I don't feel in new guitars quite
Got
so
it.
much.
I totally get it.
So anyway, blah blah blah, and I said, "Would you build me one?" And he did. So
So
anyway,
cool.
Blah blah blah. Anyway, yeah, Johnny T says, born in the Isle of Man. Mick, didn't know that. Thought you were Somerset through and through. I'm actually more Dorset, Johnny. I grew up in Dorset. Was there from a very young age. So I'm more Dorset than Somerset. I'll drink anyone's cider. That's the truth of the matter. Right. Jimbo Diddley says, I would love to have a guitar from my birth year, which unfortunately for you, Jimbo is 1963, and I don't mean that from an age perspective. I mean it from a golden era of guitars perspective.
Yep.
A 335 a Strat or a Telly, but vintage is probably out of my budget. Got any advice? Any good 63 reissues out there? It's my Bedian birthday. Yes, of course. I think Gretches of the period are worth a look.
Yeah.
And Rickenbackers.
Rickenbackers Juniors.
Yeah.
They're still not crazy. I mean, they're getting more expensive.
Creeping up, aren't they?
They are creeping up.
They are creeping up.
What else is good? I played this Epiphone jazz guitar from '63, and it's
Sorrento.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I don't know.
And they're not
about
crazy.
Epiphone
The
jazz
Sorrento.
guitars. Was it?
Yeah. Mini humbucker in the neck.
Could be. I don't know.
Really great.
My Epiphone history is not very good.
Yeah, but it's and they're not outrageous.
Yeah, Epis are a good shout actually, because if you think that Epiphone at that point was not a budget guitar brand, no shade on any modern Epiphones, by the way, but just saying it wasn't, Gibson's more cost-effective guitar brand at the time. Epiphones are, really, really American-made, nitrocellulose lacquer, all that stuff that we like about vintage guitars. Think about Casinos of the mid-60s that became very well loved. So an Epiphone could be a good shout. I'm feeling hankerings for Rickenbacker's Reach fever pitch.
Oh, okay.
I was watching Bukovac today, and he's playing this just beautiful thing. I'm like, I want one of those.
They're amazing guitars.
I want one of those.
They're the old ones. The necks are really narrow and can be really interesting to play. But Dave Gregory found a way, and every time I hear him with his old Ricky, it's
well, there are a
otherworldly.
number of models that have a wide in that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyway,
actually, and shout out to Taylor from the band Feel, who's I've been in contact with, my favourite new band, and they're doing it all old school. And he plays Ricky on a couple of tracks, and I just, when you hear that sound, that's it.
Yeah, I'm so ignorant to Rickenbackers, having never really been around them. And then you play a couple and you hear a couple and you're like, oh, that thing that I always assumed was probably a Telly is actually a Ricky.
Yeah, right.
I'm not talking about 12 strings here, because obviously you can pick those out, but 6 strings, so cool.
Yeah, completely.
I just need to get myself a beverage down.
Okay, mate.
After Philip, I'm feeling a little.
Yeah,
I'll grab you some water.
That would be great. Thank you. Yeah, as Mick said, Philip Sayce in today, and mind blowing. I just being in the room with Philip doing his thing. What a beautiful guy, but far out, man. That is, his guitar playing is so intense, and just personally, and the passion, and you can't help but be moved by it. And it was, I got it was a bit crazy there for a while. But yeah, astonishing, just astonishing. So it was a really, really fun day. Gordon Rankin, g'day mate. It said, had a Sorrento with an NYC pickup. The guitar would never stay in tune, but the weight and the acoustic sound was great. Yeah, and this is like a thinner one, and it's not that expensive. And it might be, if I can sell the 62, I would get that, and then. I've got 2. One, my daughter's just left uni, son's in uni, and man alive, anyone with kids that age will know they can be expensive. But just to help them through a few things. So yes, Nematodify says a 63 Guild Starfire. Look, the 60s Guild guitars are fabulous. Also, the old Guild acoustics. There was an old 60s Guild acoustic I play. Still might be the best acoustic guitar I've ever played in my life. It just plays so beautifully and sounds so rich and full. So keep an eye out for the old Guild stuff. It's really, really wonderful. Alive Shadow says, hey Dan and Mick, would you think of a video comparison with different speakers and cabs? We have done it before. It's tricky because there are so many different combinations. You have one cab and 4 different amplifiers, and they all sound different, and then one amplifier and 4 different cabs, and everything sounds different. Then you start to mix and match them and change speakers. Same speaker and 3 different cabs will sound different. It's it's a lot. And then it's like, well, what are you really listening for? Because what I play on a telly through a Princeton and a closed back 1x12 might be completely opposite to what you're going to do. I might not like it, but it might be perfect for what you're doing. So it's always contextual. But I do like the idea. We do like speaker shows because it's such an important subject, and it's the more that you can wrap your head around, the basic food groups for speakers, so that you've got an idea about, like for example, I've got a Tweed Deluxe and I want it to be a little bit louder. I want it to be a bit quieter or a bit less mid-range or whatever. That what you can do with just changing the speaker out is massive. What you've got a 50 watt plexi head and I want to put a couple of things in and try some stuff out. It's all there. It's all there for the taking.
This room smells only of that vibratone.
Yeah, massive thanks to Matt Schofield for lending me this. Just hearing it in the room today, paired with, I cannot remember the name of that amp.
Which one? The Tommy Cougar.
The Tommy Cougar. Okay, Tommy Gun Cougar.
Philip
Okay.
tends to use his main amps made in Sweden by a guy called Tommy Cougar. Cougar amps, I guess.
Yeah.
And today he brought in a small one, 50 watt, which was somewhat loud. But he also has a 100 watt one, which is somewhat louder.
Yeah. So great.
Plexico, Duncan, how are you, buddy? Sorry, I don't have any lunch today either. I've got the shakes.
Oh, okay.
Money for something, he says. Licks for free. Hi, gang. Boy, Seth Lee can play.
Oh,
Thanks for the great interview. Thank you, Duncan. Yeah, that was another... I don't know, I waste too much time talking about it because we've got lots of questions to get through, but Dan and I are being presented at the moment with experiences that feel privileged
Yeah.
and important, and we're doing our best to share those experiences via YouTube as best we can, and they kind of really mean something.
Mm-hmm.
They really mean something, and it feels important, and it feels life affirming and life changing, to just focus on something small and specific and wonderful and full of spirit and good shit.
Yeah, completely.
And just take one's mind off some of the other crap that's going on. Now, that doesn't mean you need to be totally ignorant to what's going on in the world, but it does mean that you can have your perspectives and your ratios
Too much perspective.
of what is actually happening
Yep.
altered a little bit.
Yeah.
And what is actually happening was we were getting blown to shit by Philip Sayce today in the best way possible.
Oh, man.
It was just fantastic.
Honestly, I will never forget that.
Yeah.
I will never, ever
What?
forget being in a room with Philip while he just does his thing.
When did we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Thank
there
you,
are people,
Duncan.
but the thing to be reminded is there are people out there doing it for real. And it's that thing that got us into guitar playing in the first place. You didn't get into guitar because you thought, well, I like how he played that altered dominant over the 5 chord. That was not the reason you got into playing guitar. You heard it and you had an emotional reaction to it, and you went, oh, I like that. You were at a gig one night and some dude with a half-stack Marshall plexi went, and it got you in the feels, and you went, I want to do that.
Yeah.
That's why we started playing guitar. Not because you heard a copy of a,
Yeah.
thing. It was like, no. You had an experience, and that's what we had today.
Totally
and we want you to
transcends
keep,
its component
completely,
parts, doesn't it?
completely. And we
Yeah.
we want to keep you guys having experiences, and we're reminding you why you got into the stuff in the first place and why it's freaking really important.
Yeah.
Really important.
Yeah. Okay, Ron Guitar Doc, he says, hi guys, could you wish Ron a happy birthday? Our dog send barks from San Diego, California to Rosie. We did that on the opening of the show. Ron, happy birthday, buddy.
Ron.
Rosie's here somewhere. She might pop in a minute to say hello. Yeah, happy birthday. Jason Sears. Hello, Jason. Jason says, I just watched a previous double reverb show and it got me thinking about why analog reverb pedals, other than small spring, are not possible. Mm-hmm. Is it a limitation of BBD chips?
So...
Wouldn't mind some chips.
Yeah, if you'd have to have... Reverb is a recreation of space. And so if you think about a hall, it's not just one reverb, not just one delay time. It's all the reflections. And the more reflections, the more true they are to the experience of hearing the sound reflected back. You can't do that unless you had 20 BBDs,
which no doubt someone has done somewhere.
But then the amount of noise that will be introduced from that would just be unusable. So it's very, very difficult to do analog.
We're pretty happy with, as long as it's got a good analog drive-through.
Absolutely.
We're pretty happy with digital reverbs because actually they do a good job of simulating spaces.
Yep.
There are a few things out there, bigger springs, and actually, depending on how it's configured. So one of the things we've got in the studio here is a Benston Studio Tallbird, which is a dual tube reverb delay. Mm-hmm. So, and actually, when you hear that, in some settings, you'd kind of swear it was a plate.
Yeah.
So smooth sounding.
Yeah.
So there are ways to manipulate springs to your liking, and I'm sure there are other things. I didn't know this. Matt Berry told us in the 70s you could get reverb units.
The Sears reverb stuff.
That went in your hi-fi system.
Exactly. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
And loads of synth guys now have brought these up and turning them into...
So I wonder what's in that, because that would be super early digital technology, wouldn't it, if they're digital?
No, I don't think they are digital. I think they're spring
just
stuff.
spring tanks.
Yeah.
Maybe check out those early hi-fi reverbs. Can you imagine that? You put it on flaming... When the levee breaks and you're like, what this needs is more reverb. Glyn, I can hear Glyn Johns like yelling. Going, did he record that? Whoever produced it, I can hear them going, ah! We spent hours on that reverb. Johnny T says, I saw Philip Says live. Wow, intense. Glad for earplugs. Yeah, it's not a quiet gig for sure.
Yeah.
Not a silent stage, we wouldn't say.
Jimmy Page produced that.
Did he?
He did. Yeah, the thing is though, that it's not quiet, and it's really important that it's not quiet. It's a different experience. You can't help but be involved in what Philip is doing. That not just from what he plays, but the level he plays, it just draws you in. And that's what our favourite guitar players did. 100%.
100%. Kristen Abbott. Kristen, how are you, buddy? Nice to hear from you. Another Experience Day. Oh, thank you to everyone who came to Experience Day on Friday. We had a blooming lovely day.
It was so great. Really, really great.
Really, really lovely day. Lovely bunch, and they're always good.
Yeah.
Anyway, Kristen's been to see us before. He says, evening, Legends. How is Shrangri Bra coming along? Oh, yeah, because you might have seen it in its early stages, did you? It's almost there. We're just trying to eke out enough time to get it tested and finished.
The last bit to get this done, we need to down tools, and it's going to take at least a couple of weeks to get the move done, get everything tested and make sure. We've run the cables, we've done a really big bit to do that, but the last bit's going to be...
Yeah, just wants a bit of...
concentrated.
So when it's all moved, I'm going to move like a mobile rig back in here so that if it doesn't work, we're not done. Anyway, it looks really good. Every time I go in there, I'm like, holy shit, it looks good in here. Dave K. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Dave.
Dave K says, hi, DNM. Just built my first amp, a small 8-watt blackface style single-ended 6L6 head. Flipping love it at home. I've no experience with speakers and want to know what speaker you'd go for. This isn't what question you answered earlier.
No.
Whatever he said about speakers before, repeat that, because it's such a personal thing.
Yeah, completely. It will make the biggest difference with that amplifier.
I mean, if you're going for that mid-60s Fender tone, then for sure go for an American voice speaker. We seem to be liking WGS speakers a lot.
Oh, they're fabulous.
Eminence speakers obviously still loom large in that world.
But even a Celestian Blue
Yeah.
would be great in the right cabinet. That's the other thing. What do you what's the cab? Do you want a 1x12? Do you want a 2x10? Quite a few options there.
You know what I would do if you've got the funds? Buy 2 really contrasting speakers. So get like a low power, something like a C12K, Jensen, which is what they put in the Deluxe Reverb 64 hand wireds, and then I don't know, like a Jensen Blackbird 100 or something like that. It's 2 speakers that are so far apart, or at least are significantly far apart enough that you can hear a colossal difference.
Yeah.
Because unless you've got a lot of experience with speakers, like buying a greenback and then a creamback, are you going to hear, if you buy one, get rid of it, get the next, you'll be nowhere with an A-B comparison.
Yep.
So get a couple of things that are really different, and that might help you go, I like that, I don't like that. Similarly, if you've got any guitar playing buddies who've got cabs, just try and hear it through a few things. But 8-watt, mid-60s Fender style amp, what speaker would you choose?
Definitely Alnico. For me, because I love the sound of a Celestian Blue, because they're very responsive. They're 15 watts. I think it would still work well in an 8-watt. Single-ended, remember, lots of harmonics and stuff happening. If you get to turn it up, the Blue would actually be quite loud.
Yeah, super loud.
So
100 dB.
I think that would sound fabulous. In the right cab, I think that would sound fabulous.
I'd get the Alessandro 12-inch Eminence if they still do it.
Oh, nice.
I've heard a couple of those.
Very nice.
Yeah. Anyway. Executioner's Bong. Toes. I've just become the custodian of a Firebird 5. A few days in and I'm loving it. Hotcake, AC15, super reverb, wet dry. No question today. Please take one from the chat and thanks for all you do.
Oh, bless you, buddy.
How nice. How nice. Hotcake, Firebird, get in.
Amazing.
Get in. Let's see if we have one from the chat then. I did promise somebody, said they wanted to get one last super chat in. Let's see if you have actually come in. I can't see it. So,
here we go. Johnny T says, are you getting Eric Johnson on, or will you visit the sound check? So Eric Johnson's playing up the road, and would love to either have him come down here.
Is it done? Has he been and gone?
No, not yet.
Oh right,
It's soon.
we might have to step up the efforts.
Yes, I will get my people to talk to his people.
Don't really like doing location stuff because, don't worry, this will have a positive ending. It's a pain in the arse. It's really expensive, and the results are always average. However, there are some cases where it's worth bending.
Yes, and he is
Eric
one
Johnson
of them.
would be one of them.
Definitely. Yeah, like the same thing we did with Bill Frisell. You know, it's like, man, what an opportunity to go and talk to a legend. So we will always take that opportunity. We just need someone in this camp to say, hey. Eric said, what's up, guys? See you at soundcheck. Or you just pop down here for a minute and go. I do. Every now and then, that comes on, the live version at
Austin City Limits.
Austin City Limits. I think it might be... It's one of the best ever filmed live things of guitar. Tonally, he's so on point. The band, the drummer Tommy... I've seen him with a few different guys, but that band specifically playing those tunes of our Musicom, there's just something happens when they play together. That recording at Austin City, man alive,
It's pretty good.
oh, it's
pretty
incredible.
Steve Schuler, 1957 says, when will we see Philip on TPS? Be about 3 weeks out, I reckon.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe 2, maybe 3. See how the other edits go. Good. Good. Thomas Gellner. Thomas, how are you? Thomas is another person who's been to an experience day, I think. Hello from Germany. What's your favourite guitar music movie? For me, it has to be Back to the Future. Tried a skateboard after watching the movie, and a guitar years later. That's funny.
Oh, very good.
Oh God, this is hard. I mean, so Spinal Tap not allowed.
No? Okay.
All right, Spinal Tap.
Well, it would either be Crossroads or Spinal Tap.
I was going to say, it's got to be Crossroads, hasn't it?
Yeah, Crossroads has the best ending ever of anything. And I think because of the complete virtuosity involved that changed the landscape for guitar when that came out, I think it's a very important thing. Spinal Tap as well, I would say, is just as important. Just to show
in a different
completely different way, not musically, but to show the hilarity of it, all that stuff. But yeah,
the one that had the biggest impact on me musically, which wasn't just guitar, was Blues Brothers. Because somebody argue with me, is there a movie ever made that's had better music and artists than the Blues Brothers?
Also, one more that had a massive impact on me, and that was
James Brown, Aretha Franklin, Ray Charles,
absolutely.
Right there. Come on.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah. Billy the Duck Dunn and Steve Cropper.
Yeah.
Amazing. Donald Dunn.
Duck Dunn, funnily enough.
And
make goat piss taste like gasoline? No?
But there's another film that was really important. There's last two. There's a film called Thunder Road back in the 80s.
I thought you were going to say Roadhouse. Were we talking about Jeff Healey today?
No, Roadhouse, amazing. But there's a film in the 80s which had Michael J. Fox and Joan Jett called Light of Day.
Huh.
Also had Michael McKean in it.
Did it?
Playing bass. That film, I loved that film. It's really, really cool. Some great sort of American sort of bar rock and roll music with Joan Jett and Michael J. Fox. Fabulous. Really fabulous.
Chris Parshow is saying bad news.
Oh, come on.
100
Was that a
points
film,
along
though?
it. Yeah.
Was it a film?
It was a
As a
comic
series?
strip presents. Yeah, it was a film. Channel 4 are paying 100 pints of lager. Does The Last Waltz count? Says Mike Jabber 58. Do you know I've never seen that?
Yeah.
The band. Have you seen it?
No.
Yeah.
Jake Boyson says School of Rock, and Mitsu Tiger Jones says Bill and Ted.
Bill and Ted.
Come on.
Bodacious. I just couldn't. After that, Keanu Reeves was done for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like Matrix, any other shit he's done, even Point Break. I'm like,
I can't do it.
you'll always be Bill or Ted to me. Which one was he? He was Bill, wasn't he?
I think he was Bill.
William.
Yeah.
Theodore S. Logan.
Theodore S. Logan. And
Esquire.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. Oh.
There we go.
One of my favourite quotes ever has come in from Chris Turner, who says, I feel my role in the band is to be somewhere in the middle of that. Kind of like lukewarm
Lukewarm
water. David and Nigel being fire and ice.
So
Okay, let's move along.
we take the sophisticated look at sex and put it on a farm. Yes, put it on a farm.
Like a
Sex farm woman. Oh my goodness! That is such an important film. That's why I never made it through the sequel because that I don't want anything taken away from the original. So wonderful.
Yeah.
Loads of people saying School of Rock. SNV Pam says School of Rock was a huge inspiration for me picking up the guitar. Yeah. It was. When my kids were little, it was really fun.
I've since come to respect Jack Black a lot more.
Have you seen?
He's a buffoon.
Yes, but have you seen High Fidelity? High Fidelity was his first ever film with John Cusack.
Yeah. I didn't realise he was in it. Wow.
It was the first time anyone had heard him sing.
Oh.
And in it, he's just this buffoon that works behind the thing. And then it says, I can't see my band.
I think I'm thinking of the English version.
And then he opens his mouth on the microphone and it just blows everyone away. It's amazing.
And of course, Back to the Future, 11-year-old me jumping up and down.
Absolutely.
Shouting at the telly, turn this off now.
Yep.
The ES345 was not out in 1955.
I can see you doing that.
No, I didn't have a clue. Just thought it was a cool red guitar like everyone else on the planet. Hi, D&M. I played my first show with an attendance over 2K a week ago, says Dave Sandman.
Amazing, mate. Well done.
It was glorious.
Yeah.
Glorious fun. I still get shivers thinking about it. Take a question from the chat and say hi to Rosie. Thank you, Dave, and congratulations. 2,000 people. That's a lot of people, man. I've only ever done that maybe once in my life.
Okay.
Over 2,000 people. Maybe twice.
Yeah, it's very, very cool.
That's really cool, man.
Yeah, well done, mate.
Congratulations. Okay, question. Not finding one currently.
No. I'll find one if you want to jump on to the next one.
Yeah, we'll do one in due course. Johnny again. Hey, Johnny.
T.
He says Dave Gregory sorely missed. Dave is still with us, by the way.
Still with us.
Any visit or gig plans?
Yeah, I'm actually having a jam with Dave tomorrow night.
There you go.
There we go. So, and you never know what might come of that. Let's just say, you never know what might come of that.
Copper Ghosts.
Copper Ghosts. I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Would be good to get Dave back on at some point to talk about something.
Lead fumes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, anyway. Dan had a band called Tin Spirits with Dave Gregory, so we're coming up with alternative options to that.
Reese Richardson says, when are we getting the new Dawn of Prince Eclipser on the show?
Oh, yeah. They've done something, haven't they?
They have. It's like...
quite important.
Yeah.
Rotary speaker?
Is it the... Is it not another Echo Rec thing?
I thought it was a rotary speaker. No. Yeah, Eclipse, a rotary cabinet emulator and
Oh,
preamp.
there we go. Okay.
So soon, because we like Dawn of Prince stuff.
It's the Yamaha thing that it does.
Oh, the Davy G rotary.
Yeah, the Davy G rotary.
Very good. Very, very good.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a look.
Victor Gustafsson. Hey, Victor, how are you in Sweden? Or I assume you're in Sweden. He says, I was out for a Marshall 1962 reissue and came home with a 63 Bassman. Wow. Holy Fender cleans to unholy Marshall overdrive.
Yeah,
Why
wow.
aren't vintage amps more expensive, you think? New premium amps cost more and need service eventually.
That's a great question.
I think the right vintage amps are pretty expensive.
Yeah. I had a look at a Vibroverb, just looking at some Fender clean sounds, and I thought and I text you, and I just went online to have a look at it. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, I thought you meant to drive the rotary speaker
No,
cab today.
I was just having. Well, I was having a look at some.
Sorry.
Some stuff,
now I
and-
understand.
Yeah, and it's like, because I remember we had one for
At
a
Ainsley's.
show. Ainsley's.
Yeah. In fact, we've had two here. Someone else lent us one for a minute.
And so I thought, I wonder what they go for. I was like, oh my goodness. You know, find a proper 60s one of those. And
It's
they are eye-watering.
Pretty
money.
much the worst for price.
Yeah, right. Are
Yeah.
they? Because of the Stevie Ray Vaughan thing.
Almost, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I mean, any really killer amp around that period. Deluxes especially, deluxe reverbs, vibreverbs. But outside of that, there's a lot of Fender amp goodness to be had for less
Yeah.
cash. And the good news, I mean, they tend to be quite heavily changed and modified by the time 60 years has passed, right? But there's plenty of people out there that know how to put them back.
Yeah, that's right.
Not least our good friend Jesse Hoff.
Yeah, because they're ultimately what does the business is the electrical components. You know, I mean, obviously the iron and you can't get the transformers.
Original transformers
and
really
that's
important.
hugely important. But if a capacitor goes,
Yeah.
you can fix it.
Yeah.
You know, so they are serviceable.
Yeah. I think the other reason, Victor, is you allude to it, you know, new amps cost more and need service eventually. Well, I think there's a lot of people that just don't have the stomach, and rightly so, for having to maintain tube amps.
Yeah.
Because it is quite the undertaking.
Yeah, it really is.
Secondly, I think a lot of them we're collectors now because actual giggy musicians, it's tough to carry a vintage amp around, not least because stage volumes, problematic, and the aforementioned upkeep. People do, and they are wonderful things. But I guess the allure of a new amp with a warranty.
And the new ones are great.
That said,
You know.
to counter my volume argument, the lower wattage vintage amps, because if you think amps got louder, right, because bands got louder. So if you go back to the Tweed era, the reason they modified the Tweeds into the black panel amps was with things like fixed bias, all kinds of other things, negative feedback. And I know it's not necessarily a straight cut, but so the amp could be louder and cleaner. All these years later, we want those lovely smaller amp tones at lower volumes because we have to play at lower volumes, generally speaking. So maybe now is the time to buy.
And just hook a few of them up together.
Well, or just play more quietly, which is what so many more people are having to do.
Yeah.
There's never been a more appropriate time for a small vintage amp,
Completely.
right?
Yeah, completely.
Maybe. Congratulations with your 63 Basement, mate. That is, I mean, that's benchmark guitar amp.
Yeah, very
and
cool.
bass amp for
Very
that
cool.
matter. But that is really great, mate. Congrats. Thomas Edwards, hi chaps, I love the show. I'm on the hunt for my first fuzz pedal and I'm thinking about buying the MXR 108 Mini or one of the Mini fuzz faces. Any thoughts or experiences with these? Much love from Leipzig, from Tom. Hello, Tom.
I think those mini pedals are fabulous. The mini version of Mix Fuzz Face is my fave.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Cleans up quite well.
Yeah, I think they're really good. If you're entering into that world and you don't want to spend a whole ton of money, but you want to dip your toe in it, as it were,
Yeah.
I think that's a really, really good shout.
The when you say the MXR 108 Mini, do you mean mini, like a mini pedal? Because the other thing you can pick up is the bigger box one, 108, which has got the buffer switch in it.
Oh, yes.
And they're pretty cool. You can get them used for really good money.
Yeah, that's right.
Dan and I would always advocate picking up used bits and bobs, fuzz pedals especially, because they're super easy to repair if they're, not nano circuit boards, modern thing, if they're actually on proper circuit boards that you can see. And you can always sell it again for pretty much what you bought it. But yeah, 108 is a really good pedal. As you know, I'm a fan of the 108 style fuzz, this being my favourite fuzz pedal. the Jimi Hendrix one, and this being the small version of it. So, and actually, pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Not ultimately as lovable,
But see,
but then whenever we do fuzzes on experience days, people are like, I just don't get fuzz. Let's do fuzz. We do fuzz. And everyone in the room learns quite quickly what a total pain in the arse vintage fuzz pedals are.
completely.
Not that that's vintage, but it's the vintage spec.
Yeah, but what the mini one does, it'll teach you about cleanup.
Yeah.
Teach you about where to set your fuzz as far as your rig is concerned. And you might go, this is amazing. And if you do, then the rest of your life, you'll be diving down the fuzz rabbit hole. And it's brilliant. So Philip Sayce had some fuzz and stuff on his board, and it's like original Cesar Diaz fuzz built by Cesar Diaz while he was there.
Pretty cool.
Unreal. And Mick pulled out the Ox fuzz that Philip gave Mick 11 years ago.
Gave me that in 15 years ago.
15 years ago.
Gave me that in 2011.
Wow.
Bless him. Yeah, and the Band of Gypsies one's really good as well.
Yeah, Band of Gypsies one's great.
Mini fuzz face. So yeah, give those a go.
Yeah, very cool.
I don't know, Thomas, if you're technically minded at all. But if you are, and if you know one end of a soldering iron from the other, build a fuzz face. Get a kit, circuit board, components, build it.
It's fun.
It's not hard, Mac.
Yeah, it's not hard.
And that's even me saying that. Probably is hard, but if you go for a fuzz face, they're so simple from a pre-made kit, and it might then you can swap out things like transistors and all of that. If you are that way minded, and you can be asked.
Yeah. BV's just said the Mini 108 also has a buffer switch. It's very cool.
There you are. Sub Rosa says the Deluxe Memory Man puts its second output out of phase for a wide stereo sound with 2 amps. How about a show exploring any pros to being out of phase? Okay, that's interesting.
Hang on.
But does it only put the wet sound out of phase?
At that time, unless you, that if it's just the wet stand out of phase, it's by the time you get to the Memory Man delay times, it's not going to make a huge amount of difference. It's when you get to the flanger delay times that it can make a difference, because it completely separates the dry from the wet. So it's only if you had dry and dry wet.
Oh, so the second output is wet only, is it?
Yeah.
Because part of the big deal with this, the reason it's called RF, is because the phase gets modulated of the second delay line.
Yeah, but what do you mean the time? Because if you can't
Phase.
Yeah, but you can't to modulate it. You have to modulating that phase relationship would be done through time, not through. What I'm talking about the polarity of the phase.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's where the terminology becomes important, because it's either you either flip the positive and negative, or you change the time amount. And what? So
random fluctuating phase modulation. Instead of a regular low frequency oscillator, it modulates the phase at random when the signal crosses a threshold. Okay, we need to look into that.
Yeah, so that might be more like tape machine glitches or whatever, as opposed to a sine wave.
Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of interesting. And the question is if it is the case, as Sub Rosa says, is that what the Memory Man is going for?
I'm not sure about the Memory Man. I'll look deeper into that. But if you look at some old choruses, and they say, you know, width, stereo, big stereo, width, what they will do is where they split the signal and then they put the modulation and then they sum that back up. What would happen on a CE1 is when you put the two outputs in, it separates the wet and the dry. So you get the same thing that's happening in a Roland JC120. On something like the Arian stereo chorus, what happens is they take that chorus sound and then they split it and put it out of phase so that you get the modulation out of phase, so that you get this widened sound. And it's sort of a faux stereo thing. So you still get dry signal on both outputs, but the modulated signal on one output has the phase flipped. That's what's happening on that thing. But the Memory Man, it's just when you put the two outputs on, it's just wet only and then dry. At least that's what happens in mine.
Yeah. Sub Rosa has confirmed that the second output is not wet only. Oh, it was here. It was confirmed somewhere. Electric Mistress does flip the output for the stereo output. I don't know. Why would you want that? That is a nightmare.
But my Mistress doesn't have a stereo output.
We need to just...
We'll have to have a look.
Yeah, have a look and see if we can... I have screen grabbed it, so...
Okay.
Renan Santos UE5JP says, Mick, is it true you ride a motorbike? If yes, what kind and what kind of riding do you do? I just started my bike journey and couldn't believe I'm excited about it. As guitars, I know that feeling. I used to. I had a bike for 15, 12, 13 years, something like that. I started off on a Ducati Monster and I ended up with a Ducati Multistrada. And I dig motorcycles so deeply it's hard to explain. But I sold it to buy my Strat. It raised most of the money to pay for this.
It's a great bike.
And the thing we never talk about with motorcycles, so I'm not going to talk about it, was I decided it was time to stop.
Mick, my keys to my car got damaged once, and Mick had to drive me back to my house to get the spare set of keys. I don't know if you remember that. On the bike.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you come on my bike?
I did. Drove to Swindon. Do you remember when my keys fell off my car?
Did I do? I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jumped on the bike.
Wow.
And you were a very considered bike rider.
So what kind of riding did I do? Road. And very sedate. You know, I had bikes that you sit up on. I mean, the Multistrada was still like 160 horsepower and it was quite serious.
It looked fast.
It was
still. That
it
bike.
was quite a machine. But yeah, I never. Yeah. I decided it was time to stop, and but good luck and enjoy it, because the other thing I would say is, in this country, in the UK, it's becoming very difficult to motorcycle with any fun. There's cameras everywhere, so if you do happen to head over the maximum national speed limit at times, motorbikes aren't all about that, by the way. They're not all about just going as fast as you can, but you know, let's say you do, you're going to get done. And secondly, the volume of traffic on British roads at this point in time is insane.
Yeah.
I went riding in Spain with a friend, Johnny, and we went up a mountain on a couple of BMW GSs. I've never experienced anything like it. No cars, beautiful roads, and we just had the most amazing time. That, to me, is what motorcycling was about. These days it feels very combative. And,
interesting.
Hard.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And I'm not like... You get those motorcyclists who are like just so into it and they want to commute everywhere in the rain and everything. I'm not that guy. Also, we got Rosie. That was it. And I just felt it was too kind of... me and Catherine and Rosie in the car together was important to me.
Yeah,
So we
right.
did that. Anyway, sounds like a load of excuses. Love motorcycles. Every time I hear something or see something, I'm like, oh no. But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And you have potholes everywhere, says BV. Yeah, that has got considerably worse in the last 5 years.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah. But the real motorcyclists don't worry about any of that stuff. They just get on with it. And I'm not sure I was ever a true in my heart motorcyclist in the way that I am a true in my heart guitar player.
Okay, that's interesting. But I thought you were very considered rider. David Tompkins says, get a sidecar for Rosie. That would be awesome.
Wallace and Rosie. Jeez, lad. Michael Koning says, evening gents, do you have an experience with the relatively new Hiwatt Pedalsmith amps? Just got a True-Fi colour driver, yes you did, and wanted to experience the wonderful combination. We don't.
No, we
I'm
don't.
slightly amazed they haven't sent us one. Pedalsmith. Because if any amp was ever going to be a perfect pedal amp, it's got to be a Hiwatt, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's check that out.
Okay.
Although, hang on. Ooh. I wonder.
We'll look into it.
So Hiwatt's been through a bunch of ownership things over the years, and I don't know where this sits in that world.
Oh, okay. All right.
For full disclosure.
Okay,
so,
we'll have a look.
Yeah, don't know. Needs more research. Enjoy the True-Fi colour driver. Hopefully you've got the one with the master volume on it, because that really does make a difference. Apparently Teddy's got a really new cool thing out Paul Stacey was telling me about, so we should chase that up.
He's a great designer.
Enjoy that. Michelle, sorry, not Michael. Broken Oars Podcast. AJ, how are you?
Hey, mate.
He says it's homework tonight, copyright and registered designs and IP, he says. Search for a T-shaped object goes on in uncertain landscape. Take one from the chat. Have a good one from AJ.
Okay, I've got one here.
Read the stuff that's going on with Fender that you may know about. I think a lot of people have got quite nicely schooled in the difference between a trademark,
and
a patent or patent, and copyright. Three very different copyrights, basically. Three very different types of IP. And that alone has been worth the debate to get people a bit more clued up on which is which.
Cool.
Sorry, mate, you were saying...
No. So Nick Lask says, I recently bought my first analog pedal, an EHX Soul Food, in my journey to a Tone King preamp powered pedal board. Now I don't know what to get next. What do you suggest? So the Tone King preamp already has a fabulous reverb and tremolo built in. You've got the overdrive. So, I mean, it depends on what you want to do. Like me personally, I think you can get a boost out of the Tone King. I'm not sure. If you couldn't, I'd get a certain sort of boost. If you can get a boost, I'd get a delay, because delays are fun. But maybe a different style of gain, like a fuzz or a heavier thing, or a more specific type thing.
What pedals he got already? Sorry, I missed that part.
Tone King preamp.
And he's bought an analog pedal.
He's bought the EHX Soul Food.
Soul Food. I'd get a delay.
Yeah, delay. There you go. Yep. Get a delay. You have a lot of fun in that.
And seeing as you're already into the electro-harmonics world, electro-harmonics make some fantastic delays.
They do.
Some sort of memory man type thing. We had a question over the weekend in the chat, normal chat in the comments. If you could only have reverb or delay, what would you have? Assuming the amp's got no reverb. That's a hard question.
It's very hard. It's very hard because...
My answer was, just while you think about it, I've grown up with amps with reverb, so doing without it feels impossible.
Yeah.
but then you just sound like everybody else in the world with a splash of reverb in their amp. If you get a delay and you really learn how to use it, and it's got some modulation in it, for example, and you learn how to get flangy, chorus, doubling delays, slapbacks, and then
There's so much there.
tapped quarter notes and dotted eighths, you'll really start sounding like you
Yeah.
really quick. So Dan's taught me so much about delays. I didn't know shit about delays before we met. And it's just a fantastic thing, isn't it?
It really is. It really is. I think amp reverb has ruined reverb for me in a lot of ways. That good sounding amps bring reverb. So we had Philip in today, and we had the 2-Rock custom signature as the amp driving the
Vibratone.
And Philip was going, oh man, the reverb in this amp is amazing. And it really is. It's an astonishing sounding reverb. And there's, a few Fender style amplifiers and, a bunch of other ones that have such great sounding amp reverb. It's very difficult to get that sort of thing from a pedal because it's their emulations and we're manipulating real springs and they sound fab. For me, a really great delay. So if you think of Andy Timmons and the way he uses his delay, he didn't have reverb in his amp he didn't use reverb for a long time. Yeah. Everything was that delay. And the halo that he gets around his note, it felt like a reverb because he just had it dialed in so perfectly. Now he does have his reverb pedal, but you can do a lot with delay if you want to create that space, and like for me, there's a handful of reverb pedals that sound really good. The CXM 978 is still unbeaten. And so if I could have that, I would have
You'd
the
have
reverb.
that. Yeah.
But if not, it would be some sort of really cool delay pedal.
Yeah. Somebody mentioned Mike Hailwood. Oh, I know who it was. No, I don't know who it was. Sorry, I don't know who it was. I've lost it. Somebody mentioned Mike Hailwood, British motorbike racer. I've seen his Ducati at the Ducati factory. And back in those days, half a tennis ball, right? Actually, this side, I think. Would it be that side? Can't remember. With a sponge in it and some water.
No.
Yeah. Doing like whatever they were doing, 170 miles an hour on a bike.
Oh my goodness.
Very, very borderline prehistoric motorcycles by today's standards.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. More motorbike stuff.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, okay. Hi from Providence, Rhode Island.
Nice.
Providence, Rhode Island says Palomar Sound. Building pedals in my basement. Just sent off another shipment to No Tom Guitars.
Oh, cool.
On Denmark Street.
Yep.
Is it No Tom?
No Tom. That's a really cool guitar store.
What's your favourite red knob Fender amp? I enjoy the power chorus.
What's the... Oh, man, what's it called? This...
Super 60?
No. Sonic, no.
Supersonic?
Supersonic.
I'm not sure that was a red knob.
It had red knobs on it, I'm sure it did. And that was part of the red knob thing, but that was...
Wasn't it called a Sonic 60?
Maybe.
Might have done. Don't know. I'm sorry if I'm wrong. I thought the Supersonic amp was newer and came in either blonde or black Tolex.
Okay.
The one that Simon Neil uses.
Yeah. I thought that was a red knob version.
Super 60 was the red knob version.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Super 60.
There you go. Which I think Simon Vine talks about
Yeah,
from
cool.
time
Yeah.
to time.
Yeah. That.
Yeah, I like the Super 60. I think I had one for 5 minutes. But there's a red knob twin, of course.
Red knob twin. Absolutely.
Got to be, hasn't it?
Red knob twin and a Zen drive.
Yeah.
Robin Ford tones.
Robin Ford tones. So fill us in. Was that post Paul Revere or was that Paul Revere era? I always get a bit confused. The red knob ones.
Todd Roy says, Bonamassa says the red knob evil twin is a sleeper amp. Well, if he said it, it's not a sleeper amp anymore.
No.
And Mikey Taylor says, sitting right next to a Super 112.
There you go.
There you go.
But of course, there were all the solid state ones as well. Which
Yes,
I think
of
is
course.
what you're talking about, isn't it? When you say power chorus, yeah. So that would have been a solid state version thereof. Pro 185. Yeah, I'm having to Google it because my knowledge is very poor. Stage 185. 85. Wow.
Are they the biggest amp company in the world?
Yeah,
Right.
by some considerable margin.
Right.
Yeah.
Because, the other obvious one is
Apparently
Fender.
there was a BV saying apparently there was a red knob showman as well.
Wow.
Wicked. Mike Taylor is saying this one is a 1991 all tube power chorus. That is an amp we are unfamiliar with, Mike. That sounds really cool. Really, really cool. So much good. Yeah. So much great used gear out there, isn't there?
Oh, man. Absolutely.
Especially at the moment, we try not to talk about negative stuff on here because nobody wants to bloody hear it with all the other negativity you're faced with. But, a lot of people are feeling pinchy at the moment financially. And unfortunately, that means a lot of people are offloading gear, which means if you do have a spare bit of cash, there's a lot of good stuff out there to buy right now.
Yeah, there is.
Which is not a very nice way of looking at it, but it is the way of the world.
Todd Roy says, Dan, I forget, is that long bottom guitar nitro or poly? The finish looks fantastic today, very shiny. I'm pretty sure it's nitro.
It is nitro.
And it is so beautiful. Yeah, it is absolutely nitro.
Yeah.
And it's very thin and you can see the grain of the wood on the top. It's just, I do love this guitar. I
It's
really
a cool
do.
thing.
Yeah.
Been sounding great in recent videos.
Oh, yeah. And the neck is, it's just, it's just beautiful.
Yeah.
And
How do you find the maple fingerboard? Do you notice it?
I do notice it. And it has that thing where it sounds like it's got a compressor plugged in.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing about this. So just for the halibut, I went for a roasted maple.
It's so freaking cool, that guitar.
Roasted maple. And same thing. It's like a built-in compressor. It's really weird.
Yeah.
In a good way. Yeah, you'll be seeing a bit more of this in coming weeks, just as I learn what it's for.
What chord are you playing now? It's great. Sorry, that just sounded really cool against each other.
Yeah, you'll be seeing a bit more of that in coming weeks. It's good. I wanted something to just break me out that wasn't completely alien, right? Why don't you just buy a Strandberg? Because I'm not willing to be that broken out, if that makes sense. Yeah, where were we?
Chris Quinn says, Dan, can you do the res test and drop something on it to see if the nitro chips? You know what? It will happen naturally. It will happen naturally. Yeah, it's people saying how beautiful it is. Such a beautiful guitar. I'm playing this more and more, and I'm really, really enjoying it. Yeah, it's so great. I think if I got it refretted again, I'll get slightly larger frets.
Yeah.
Just to lift the strings off the fingerboard a bit.
And yeah.
because you can definitely feel that
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah. What I like about that, and one of the reasons I went for those of you who like maple fingerboard guitars, this might seem a bit alien to you, but Dan and I have grown up both playing rosewood boards for the most part, and certainly nicer rosewood anyway, and certainly if you are lucky enough to have guitars with Brazilian rosewood boards, the feel under the fingers is so different from a maple board, and it's almost doesn't, because it's unfinished, right? So there's no if you take a vintage Fender, for example, it will have nitrocellulose lacquer on the fingerboard itself, which takes a long time to cure and feel good. More modern guitars, they use other sort of satin lacquers, and some guitars will be left broadly unfinished but with an oiled kind of finish, which is also cool. In any case, no matter what the finish, they do feel very different from rosewood boards.
They do.
And one of the things I like about that is that the main reason I've got that guitar is to force me down a different playing route.
Yeah, completely.
I don't want to play all the shit that I play on my Strat on that guitar.
Yep.
Inevitably it will come out. I want it to force me to find out what that guitar wants to do.
Yeah.
And that's what I think different guitars are for. They're not so that it looks different and you play all the same stuff. It's, what does this guitar do to me and enable me to do differently from what I already have. So anyway, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, tangent. Tangent. Gavin Kane. Hi, Gavin.
Hi, Gavin.
He says, thanks for everything you do, guys. No question, please take one from the chat. Okay.
I think I have another question here.
Nice.
Oh, that was the one about the motorbike. Here we go. This is interesting. So Richard Pribenow says, I play a 7-string classical nylon Godin guitar through a 4x12 cab and a 50-watt Mad Professor tube head. What is a good compressor for that? So it's, first of all, kudos to you, sir. That is man. Fabulous. What I'd be looking at is something that still has a mix control in it, so you're not compressing everything. If I was like with the Telecaster, because it's so bright, when I choose a compressor, I want something that actually compresses and squashes it. But if what you're after is getting a bit more sustain from the nylon strings, you don't necessarily want to dull the attack and those initial transients. There are loads, like even I would dare say most good compressors now give you the ability to mix the original signal back in, and then so you still get the attack, and then as the signal dies down, the compressed signal will remain and give you more sustain. Great compressors from Origin, the Cali 76, Wampler, Keeley 4-knob compressor is great. The Wampler Ego 76 is fabulous. There's a bunch of really good ones. There's what's the tube one doesn't have a mix in it though, does it? The 12AU7 one. But that sounds
it just
really
sounds
cool.
so great anyway.
From
Hageman.
From Hageman, the tube compressor is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's the right one for this particular one. I definitely think you need a mix control. Look, the old Barber compressor, still great.
I'm a real fan of the sort of latest trend in going after studio compressor type sound. So anything at 1176 flavored, Teletronics or Universal Audio 1176, which is a super fast FET compressor. We absolutely love the Union Tube and Transistor Lab, it's called. And that's sort of after an LA2A, Teletronics. Sorry, the 1176 wasn't Teletronics, it was Ure, later Universal Audio. The J-Rocket thing that's the Airchild is really cool. Yeah. Because I'm going to agree with Dan, like a straight Dynacomp type thing in that environment, just it's not subtle enough. Yeah. Whereas the ones that are modelled after studio compressors just feel a bit more produced, And as Dan is saying, rightly saying, in most of them, if not all, you have that mix knob, which is essential.
That's the essential thing, and I think, sort of hard to go wrong with that. There's loads of really great ones out there.
Yeah. Just making sure we're not mixing too much.
Does Boss do a compressor with a mix knob in it? I really like the sound of the CS2 on the tone control. I think that's a really good sounding compressor. But I don't know if they do a compressor with a mix control in it.
There was a CS2 here.
There's this, on the back wall it was. There. Or was that CS3?
It's got a level knob. Don't know if it has a mix knob.
No.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be new from Boss.
Just saying.
That thing is just
saying.
boy oh boy. What a fabulous sounding compressor that is.
Like all of their stuff.
Yeah.
Like all of their stuff. Mind you, so much good stuff. So much good stuff. How are we getting along? Sebastian Boisvert says, you know Bukavak is going to be on your side of the pond in June or July, right? Yes, and BV is trying to help us connect. I got a feeling he is, looking at his schedule, he is like in Scotland and then he's in London. So we'll reach out. We'll reach out. I mean, okay, here's the thing then. I've thought about this a lot. Dan and I would both love to sit down with Uncle Larry.
Be amazing.
And talk shit, right? We would love that. My question to you guys is, he puts a video out every day. What could we possibly add to that? You see him unfiltered.
Mm-hmm.
You see him, he's talking about how musicians on tours get paid rubbish money and he wouldn't do it. Great video from a day or so ago. And I'm just thinking, yeah, I mean, you get him as unfiltered as you can possibly get him already through his own channel. I don't know what we could add to that, really.
Well, there'd be questions that I want to ask him.
Yeah. One thing I would like to do is, you know, here's a paradox for you then. Whenever he plays guitar using his iPhone, or whatever it is he uses, he sounds amazing. Some days I'm like, I would really like to record you properly.
Yeah.
To see what it actually sounds like.
Yep.
And already knowing that the answer is it sounds exactly the same, so don't bother, because he just sounds awesome no matter what you do.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah. Those guys, right? The Bukavaks, the Joey Landrets, the Philip Saces, the Seth Lee Jones, who we had on a couple of weeks ago, like that caliber of player.
Yep.
They just tear it all to shreds.
Yeah.
Don't they? They tear all the rules to shreds, and they just sound awesome no matter. Yep. Which is not saying we shouldn't still shoot for it. Sorry.
No, I agree 100%. I was listening to Philip dial in his amps today, and I'm like, oh, mummy. And it's like, I'm turning these things up until they're working really hard, and I'm just going to add a little bit of flavour to them, but everything is going to be in the amp.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
yeah,
I didn't know you could do that. It was just unbelievable.
Well, you did know. You just out of the habit of doing it.
I've never done it like that.
Oh, really?
I've not, because that was his core tone, was the amp just dimed.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. I like an amp on the edge of breakup.
Yeah.
You know, I love that. But that is a different world.
Yeah.
So amazing.
Actually, oh, to be fair, he did have the master down quite a bit on the classic reverb.
Yeah, but that's so he didn't blow the speaker up in the
No, that's not what I was expecting. That's not what I was expecting at all.
Okay.
Yeah, that's set much more. But yeah, good point about the.
Yeah, about the speaker.
Speaker and
the speaker. You can hear the speaker going. Ah! That was so good.
Joshua Schwartz says, am I the last one in? You're not, Josh. No. Because next is Tom Frank. And Tom Frank says, fellas, G and L thoughts. Mick, I know you have an ASAT. What model is that? I've been looking into the SC models, single cut models. SC. They're Mustang, as it were. Oh, SC. Right, sorry. It's not an acronym. I had an ASAT for the longest time, a red one. It was my first ever proper American guitar. And I bought it because in Weymouth, I grew up in Dorset, and as a young teenager, we played a load of gigs in this seaside town called Weymouth. And in Weymouth lived a guy called Marco Rossi. And Marco is an astonishing guitar player.
What was the name of the guy in... wasn't there another Marco Rossi?
Francis Rossi.
Francis Rossi. Status Quo. There we go. Right.
Yeah. But interestingly enough, the name Rossi came with the Italians who... There was this I think in some point in history, Italy was going through some terrible financial trouble. I'm guessing it's post-World War II. I don't know. Could have been before that. Could have been between the wars. I don't know when it was. Somebody please help me out here. Loads of Italians went to Cardiff. Joe Calzaghe, etc., etc. Loads of Italians went to Scotland, Glasgow in particular.
Oh, okay.
Rossi's ice creams, all of that was largely in part of this mass migration that happened because they were having such a shit time in Italy. Anyway, my friend Marco Rossi from Scotland, astonishing guitar player, played at that time with a band called Kevin McDermott Orchestra. And he was the guy when I was 13 who my dad took me to a pub and I walked in and he had a Strat with a mid-boost in it and a 4x10 Fender Concert, and he changed everything.
Wow. Playing
a version of T-Bone Shuffle at like 107 dB. And that changed everything. Anyway, I got to know Marco a little bit over the years as we started going out and gigging. He had, finally, a G&L ASAT.
Oh.
And they used to play this song called Hole in the Ground, which we covered many years later. It's a wonderful guitar riff. Please look it up. Kevin McDermott's Orchestra, Hole in the Ground. Amazing solo. And I don't know if it was the guitar he recorded it with. I would guess that was a 335, but I don't know. Anyway, the guitar that he would play live a little bit was the G&L ASAT. And I was like, that's the guitar for me.
Okay.
So I ended up buying one many years later. And I liked it. Played in an indie band at the time. Had an orange OTR 120 and 412. We played nice and loud, and that was a really great guitar. I sold it because I got into the more vintage Fender thing, and I became less happy with the glass-like, very thick poly finish. And it had a single-piece maple neck and fingerboard that used to move by looking at it.
Yeah.
So I was consistently adjusting the truss rod, which was...
And they didn't have the dual truss rod, right? They were still a single truss rod?
Don't know.
Because I thought they did a model that had the two truss rods, so you could move back and forward.
Well, there was only one adjustment nut.
Okay.
But I think, didn't one go back and one nut? Anyway, whatever. So I sold it, and I later also had an ASAT Classic with a B and a G bender, which I rue selling, because that was a really, really rare guitar.
Wow.
Custom shop. But 2008, financial crash, nearly lost my house. Had to sell everything.
Boy, oh boy.
So, yes, I did have a G&L, and the ASAT special that we've got here, that actually belongs to Anderton's, natural one, is a fantastic guitar.
Everything that we like about guitars is different in that guitar.
Yeah.
Ceramic pickups, nitro poly body and all that stuff. It's like, you play it and it's like, this thing sounds amazing.
It really is.
And it plays beautifully.
It's a great guitar.
Yeah, it really is.
Really, really good guitar. So, yeah, I think wasn't so keen on the mid-price stuff they did. They tended to be kind of over heavy for my personal tastes.
Yeah, okay.
And very thickly finished and all that. But all of these things are generalizations, right? Because you need to pick up the guitar and play it, because it might have something that you love.
Yeah.
So the older I get, we're tempted into generalizations all the time, aren't we? Because we are. The older I get, the more I'm like, what is this guitar like? Not what is an Anderson like, what is a Sir like, what is a Fender like, what is a Gibson like. It's like, what is this guitar like? Because even mass-produced factory line guitars are different.
Completely. It depends on the bit of wood that ends up being in the machine at the time. You know, it does actually depend on the wood, people. It really does. But let's not get into that.
Let's not get into that. Anyway, so you're talking about the SC model. I since I've left guitar magazines, I just don't know what's going on. I'm much less clued up about what's happening in the guitar world these days. So I noticed they came out with a few things that look slightly different. And actually, didn't Jerry Cantrell play one that looked different? Comanche, was that maybe, or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Back in the day. So something that had a more, a different body shape. But yeah, great guitars, man. And I believe they are no more, or Fender bought up the assets or something.
Yeah. They did.
Which in a parallel universe feels like a full circle or something.
But I don't know. I've heard different things, but I'm not going to say anything because I don't know for sure.
No. Yeah,
I don't think they're doing anything with the G&L though.
Oh, they're doing it too, yeah. Anyway, let's not go there. Good luck, Tom.
Yes, good luck, mate.
Ron Guitar Doc, we've got your super chat, Ron, and we said happy birthday earlier, so hopefully we haven't missed anything else. And then last in today, I will just check, but is JJ Newbold, who says, Dan, I know your Les Paul has low wind OX4s. Do you know what Alnico they are? I want to buy the same set.
I don't know, but if you contact Mark knows, because quite a few people have reached out about that, because that guitar just sounds freaking wild. So yeah, Mark will know. Mark will know exactly. And he'll get you sorted. He's a good egg.
From the limited number of pickup makers that I know and have managed to chat to at any length. So the question, sorry, there are a couple more super chats and we will get to them. From the question from JJ is the type of Alnico, right? So Alnico, for those of you who don't know, is a mix of Alnico, nickel and cobalt, and it's what makes up the magnet in a guitar pickup, whether that's a pole piece or the bar magnet that goes underneath the humbucker, etc. And the different grades of Alnico over the years, you'll hear phrases like Alnico 2, Alnico 3, Alnico 4, and Alnico 5 most commonly, and they're usually displayed as Roman numerals. So if you've ever seen Alnico V written and you don't know what it means, that's what it means. I've heard it said that the Alnico grades have changed so much over the years.
Oh, have they?
In terms of what they are and what they do.
Right.
That
it's a crapshoot.
Like modern Alnico 2 pickups, for example, are Alnico 2 because they can't get the Alnico 3 or 4 anymore that was the same as it was, and therefore Alnico 2 works better. Don't quote me on the specifics of that. That is merely the sort of direction of the argument. Which is me warming up to say, try not to get too focused on that, on the spec, because as any good pickup maker will also tell you, the wind, the tightness of the wind, the wire they use, the potting material, if any, etc., etc., etc. All of that has massive, massive effect on tone. You might be better off saying to, what's his name? Matt, did you say? OX Pickups?
Mark.
My apologies. I want to get closest to this era of PAF and go with his recommendation. Yeah. Because those guys, I've been talking to Matt Montes a lot recently, and man, the stuff they don't know, the stuff they know that they've forgotten that they know is just awe-inspiring.
Yeah, it really is.
Because of the experience.
Yep.
Because of the numbers of pickups they've taken to pieces, had to rewind, seen destroyed. You know, it's fascinating. Anyway.
It is completely.
Enjoy, JJ. Enjoy that pickup journey.
Yeah.
R3DWVLF. Is that R3D Wolf? Is there an R2D2 thing in there? R3D-Wolf, should we say? What am I saying? I'm probably saying giant something, aren't I? Morning, gents. Do you have any thoughts on the UA Enigmatic pedal? Having to play more in headphones and less amps with the little ones around. Yeah.
I thought that was quite good.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, if you're having to play in headphones, the Boss was Air headphones. Just make that really easy. But if you put the one thing about the Enigmatic, I think if you have it at the end of your chain, so you can still have your pedal board. But I managed to use my pedal board because I take the wireless thing that you normally stick in your guitar. I stick at the end of my pedal board, so I plugged in the pedal board, put that wireless thing on, got the headphones, and I'm in my pedal board all day. It sounds, look, it's an experience in headphones. It's not going to be this in the room going, but it lets me practice.
Yeah,
in the mornings.
I mean, all the demos sound pretty good. Equally, I don't know what your environment for practicing is. Like if you use a computer, for example, all those things, I believe, I don't know about the Enigmatic, I think they're all available as a UA plugin. So you could just skip the hardware altogether and just go straight to a plugin in your laptop, which might be more convenient for you depending on where you're, how you're situated. Because obviously does it have headphone output, the Enigmatic? I mean, do you have to go from the Enigmatic into something else in order to get it into headphones?
I think you do. I don't know if there might be a dedicated headphone output on it. I don't know.
I don't think there is. Unless you configure it in a certain way. Schoolers, people. Schoolers.
What do I have to learn to do to play the blues?
Oh, come on, mate.
But it's really interesting because I got the harmony stuff, but now when I hear like Philip today and that Stevie Ray Vaughan Hendrixy thing and the shuffle and the swing, it's like, oh, that's where all that lives.
I think you have to have been listening to it and doing it for a long time. And at the risk of a giant cliche, I do think that if you want to play blues that's worth anything, you have to live blues.
Yeah, I agree. I agree because the music it's got to be in there to come out.
I think it's true of all music actually, but I don't want to try and be too controversial here, but as a massive fan of blues over the years and knowing some of the world's best blues guitar players, to be truthful about it, I feel bad playing blues now. Because I know how much they mean it.
Oh, that's interesting.
And because I know how much they live it.
Yeah. It's funny.
I feel like another arsehole playing the blues and not really owning it. Now that might be...
But you love that music and you've been playing it for the longest time.
And
it's definitely in you.
There's a bit of imposter syndrome and all of that, and there's a bit of head bullshit in that, which we need to get rid of.
There's a fly in here.
A flying beast that's been in here all day.
Massive.
I'm amazed it's still flying after 110 dB from Philip Sace. So yeah, I think you do. And then there's blues and there's blues, isn't there? Manish Boy came on my iTunes the other day, Muddy Waters, and I don't know, for whatever reason it hit me harder that day than it's ever hit me harder.
Yeah, really.
He sounds fucking angry, man.
Yeah, okay.
He sounds like scary.
Yeah, wow.
And yeah, anyway, sorry, I'm yakking. Somebody asked me earlier, and I really do want to answer this question because it's an important question. Come on. I might just get the last question going, and then Dan, you can answer this, and I'm going to search for it.
Okay.
It's from Adam Dobbs, and it's for you, Dan. Dan, since you were gifted that SG by Robin Ford, Why don't you gift your other one and pay it forward, like to me, for example? Or it would go nice with the 67 Vibrolux I just bought. Or to Mick. Or to me. Thanks for what
And
you do.
a fine glass of Chianti. Thank you very much. So, yes, I'm sure you're all sick of the story now, but I'm not, so I'm going to tell it again. Just in case you haven't been anywhere near TPS or my Instagram for a long time. I've been helping Robin out with a few things for a few years, and that's been one of the great honours of my professional life, because he means so much to so many guitar players, and he really came along and changed the game for a lot of us. And so I'm very blessed that he's been able to look after him. He's become a really good friend. And a couple of years ago, yeah, wow.
It's mad. I'm hearing so much high end come off this in a glorious way.
And so a couple of years ago, he said, "Oh, take this and have a play. Let me know what you think," because I'm going through my SG phase, as we all do. And I kept going to give him the guitar back and saying, "Oh, thanks, man. It's beautiful." He goes, "No, just hang on to it. Just hang on to it." Robin was moving to Italy. They're still waiting on visas, but a few weeks ago, I was getting a few things back to him, including his Dumble and a bunch of other stuff that we'd been hanging on to, which we no longer have in our possession. And he said, "I'll just hang on to that guitar. I'll, get it off you another time." I'm like, okay, no worries. Anyway, went down to handing the stuff back, and he said, "What do you think of that SG?" I said, "Oh, it's amazing. It's so unique." But basically, it's a 1964 special. So originally, this would have had P90s in it. But at some point, it was converted to humbuckers. And he's played it on a bunch of tunes, including the Rose of Sharon. There's a famous version of that he played on this guitar. And he said, "I want you to have it." And I was like, "You're kidding me." He said, "No, So
you said, "Oh, no, I couldn't put you." Thanks.
Well, I didn't protest much, I'll tell you right now. And so Robin gifted me this guitar.
And what about the headstock logo, Dan?
So back in the early 60s, Gibson, if you ordered a bunch of guitars from Gibson, you could choose the decal that you wanted. And you can still, with the custom shop, you can still sort of do a little bit of that, but the retailer must have ordered a few guitars like this, and I'll show you, but the logo, the decal on this is actually from an old Gibson mandolin. So check this out. Which way are you? This way. So cool. Yeah. So because I did some research when I first got the guitar, because I'd never seen anything like that, and went on to some Gibson forums, and there were some very knowledgeable people out there, and showed a couple of examples of other guitars, and that was one of the policies back in the day. And yeah, it's just a really, really cool guitar, and I got Robin to sign the back of it the last time I saw him. Here you go.
Tilt it up towards the light, Dan. There you go.
But yeah, see the smaller headstock and the inline tuners, and the dots instead of block inlays. So that's what a special has got. Yeah,
that's another thing that I've massively chilled out about in recent months actually, but recent years.
Right.
Is embracing the individual in instruments rather than going, "That's not right."
Oh,
that's not
yeah,
right.
completely.
I used to be so eaten up by all that stuff, and to be fair, like if it's a vintage style Strat, I still am a bit. But almost anything else, It's like, yeah, that's cool. That's what makes it unique,
Yeah.
right? At this point.
Yeah.
And I just want to say to Jim Brosen, I think it is something like, oh, I think I've lost it. Sorry. So sorry, I've lost it. Oh yeah, Jim Brosen, and thank you for saying this, Jim. He says, can't you just play what you love and remove any of this should I play this and can I play this nonsense? Yes, exactly.
Completely.
Exactly. And with that, I want to answer a question from Alex241. I'll do this briefly, Alex, who says, Mick, I've been on and off droopy for the better part of this year. What did you do to break out of your battle with melancholy? Sorry you're going through that, Alex. Dan and I can both relate to this.
Very much so.
And clearly, I'm not a psychologist and I'm not a counsellor.
But I'll have a look.
But I'll have a bloody good look. No. So please take whatever I say next as a signpost rather than any action. I got into my head a little bit about thinking, oh, maybe I could help people. And it's like, no. Just professionals do that and they're there for a reason and there's good reasons. But anyway, the question is, how did I do it? I did it in a number of ways. The first thing I did was I stopped calling it droopy and melancholy and I called it depression. And that was a big day because I'd been someone in my early 20s and certainly in my teens thinking that depression did not exist. It was just people being silly and stupid. And I genuinely thought that when I was a younger man. And I denied it for the longest time for the same reason. And I don't know about how you feel about it, but the difference between just having a bit of a shit day and being depressed was being depressed goes on for a long time. It makes you change your behaviour. Some days I come home from work and I just go straight to bed. And it... you start to become difficult to be around and you start to become you're just different. You're different. You react to things differently. You stop doing things. You don't want to mix with people, all that kind of stuff. And when you're down in it like that, you don't want to be thinking about that stuff too much because the worst thing you can ever do if you're down is make any kind of decision. The only thing you can do when you're down is say, this will pass. Have it tattooed on the inside of your arm if necessary. I even considered doing that and I might still yet. This too shall pass.
Do you have any tattoos?
Only on my penis, Dan.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. It's the it's the first chapter of War and Peace. Oh, come on, it's an old gag. Sorry. I think it was important to lighten the mood. Yeah, come on. Anyway, what I did then, Alex, is again,
really good.
Putting a name on it and having the courage to admit that to Catherine, my wife, was really the first step. And then it was a case of deciding that I did want to change. And I did want life to be different. And I didn't want to lean on it anymore because I'd started making excuses and using it as an excuse. And I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. So I did want to change. So then, sorry for all of you that don't want to hear this, but Alex, it's important that you hear this. I learned a bit about brain chemistry. If you think about the sort of mechanics of it and some things about, look into cortisol, which is one of your brain's stress hormones, and you need it and it's very important, but there's some interesting things about cortisol that you might want to read. Not least that when you feel shit, what do? You eat shitty food, you drink, you do all the things you shouldn't do, and guess what? That keeps your cortisol level high instead of letting it naturally dissipate in your body. So there's some stuff that's really chemical, right? And then there's some stuff that's psychological. And dealing with that stuff psychological little by little, bit by bit, day by day, and being honest about it, reading a few books. Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now, fundamentally changed my life forever and is continuing to change my life forever. learning about the difference between psychological time and conscious presence, blah, blah, blah. And Rosie might have made the biggest difference of all, because getting the dog, I had to go out and walk every day. So every day, up, walk, sunlight, all that stuff that we know helps the biochemistry and all of that. So I think you just got to be ready for the long haul. You've got to know that good habits, doing things every day, simple things every day, sticking to it, is really important, and it doesn't happen overnight. Get out your head, get into conscious presence, and you have a shot at improving it, a good shot at improving it. And if you feel really shit, go and see a professional, please, because they have infinitely more knowledge than I do. I don't want to say too much. Try the things yourself before you look at medication and stuff like that. But there's plenty of people who do need medication. So try that stuff. And we wish you well with it.
Yeah, mate.
Loads of people are on this journey. Don't feel alone. And atomic habits, tiny little things every day. Good luck. Good luck. Let us know how you get on.
Johnny T says, Dan, Zal Clemenson's SG and Old Grey Whistle Test. Delilah was a special with Humbuckers too, right?
Alex Harvey Band.
Alex Harvey Band. Paul Stacey got me onto the Alex Harvey Band. It's like, check these guys out. And far out. What an absolute powerhouse. So, yeah, I think so. He had a few different things. He also played juniors, didn't he? But I will double check that, because that would be really cool.
Yeah.
Yes. But just to echo what Nick has said, I think a lot of, look, we're guitar players and we like music, which means that we're into art, which means that most of us are maybe a bit sensitive to stuff like this. That happens. And I think especially as you get older, stuff just happens in life. And sometimes you do find, I've had to find ways of coping with stuff, and it's all part of the journey. Don't feel bad about going through it. It doesn't make you any less. It's part of the journey. And just to echo everything Mick said, you'd be stunned at the difference just good diet and exercise can make.
Oh,
You'd be stunned.
Yeah.
And then diet, exercise, and 10 minutes of meditation in the morning, like factor of 2.
And don't think it's this.
No.
It's not. It's this for
Exactly.
a long time. And then sometimes it might be that. For a long time. And you just got to forgive yourself. Like Dan was saying, good diet and exercise. If you miss a couple of days, eat 10 cheeseburgers and drink 20 pints of lager, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Don't think it's the worst thing. It's just...
Alex241 and Todd Roy have both said playing guitar helps me. Absolutely.
I'm going to add a caveat to that. It really didn't help me for the longest time. Because one of the things I was so most deeply in my head about was being shit at playing the guitar, which was something that needed to be fixed. So to continue playing the guitar was actually making things worse. And I'm having to deal with that, to see it from a different, it's all perspective, right? No matter what your problem is, it's all perspective. Where do you stand and look? Because if you stand inside the problem and look out, you can't see shit.
Yep.
If you can find different vantage points, one of the reasons I read so much is I would say, what would Stoic philosophy say about this? And I would do a Stoic philosophy reading of the situation. Then I would do, what does Eckhart Tolle say about this? And what that naturally does is it pulls you out and it puts you in the Stoic philosopher's shoes, and it puts you out into Eckhart Tolle's shoes, or it puts you out into a punk rocker in 1978 shoes, what would they do? God forbid, what would a heroin addict do about this? And you just kind of, if you've got when you're down in it, you can't do any of that stuff. It's not possible. You have to wait until you're in a better place. At that point, when you're in the better place, then you can really do the work. And that was massively helpful. Not everyone has not everyone has the ability to do that, but the further you get away from it, the further you will get away from it.
Yeah. And I'll just finish a massive realization that I had, when I was going through stuff, and then, to be honest with you, I'm still going through stuff. I think a lot of us are. But one thing that I remember years ago going through stuff, and I was like, why isn't this getting any better? And I'll talk to loads of people about it, talk to Mick about it, talk to my wife about it, and I realised, man, I'm talking about this stuff a lot. And I'd started to identify with that. And talking about stuff is really good. But if you start to identify with being, depressed or whatever that is, and you sort of hold on to it, if you're going to talk about it with
It becomes who you are.
Yeah, exactly. And as soon as you that becomes part of you, it's so much harder to move past it.
Yeah. Todd Roy says it's such an individual thing, depression. It totally is.
Yeah,
Todd.
completely.
And I hope that nothing that I've said has made anyone think they're doing it wrong or getting it. It's not. It's one person's opinion, and I think that's why it's good to talk about it, actually.
Yeah.
Because you can get the opinion of a lot of people, and just having a conversation out loud is something available to us that probably wasn't available to our fathers.
That's very true.
And mothers, but I think we're predominantly men here, and we know how vulnerable men in their 40s and 50s are,
completely.
unfortunately.
And believe me, I'm not, talking about it is really important. Just be aware if you start to identify as that, but don't, going the other way where you don't feel that you can talk about it is so isolating, and it's the worst thing. And there's no need to. Just no need to.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Victor Gustafsson says, he says a sensible and sane Instagram feed helped him. Well, you will have to explain to me how to do that, Victor, because one of the things I gave up was social media, because I've only got to look at it for 6 minutes and I feel sad. I feel right back there. So I'm not at a place where I can deal with the insanity of the outside world yet.
Okay.
For the same reason I don't watch the news.
Sure.
So I know what's going on, and if something I need to know, someone will tell me. That's the way news works. But there's so much that you do not need to know.
Yep.
And that can have an adverse effect. I would also say the very act of doing this is cognitively destructive. So
I have developed
less. Do it less, people.
There are a couple of rules now that I've found super helpful and that everyone can do. Rule number 1, never take your phone to the toilet. Check this out. There's a friend of ours who's a nurse, and she said they're getting a lot of guys in that are having loads of problems with their colon because they're sat on the toilet for so long watching their phones.
Really?
And it's not a good position to be in for an extended period of time. So, first rule.
Only take a guitar to the toilet.
Only take your guitar to the toilet. I was going to say to Philip today. But, so, never take your phone to the toilet. Third rule, turn your phone off on Sundays. Have one day a week where you say, I'm turning my phone off.
Get a problematic spaniel.
There you go. And I've started doing that. If someone wants to call me on a Sunday, they can call the landline.
Yeah.
That's it. And honestly...
I deliberately leave my phone at home some days.
Nice.
And I'll go, oh no, I forgot my phone.
Oh no. Yeah. Whatever shall I do?
Guess what? At the end of each day, the world does not end.
Yeah.
Here, Rosie. No, you just can't do loads of books. Anyway, Alex, I hope that was useful. And for anyone out there who isn't such a fan of those kind of conversations, I'm telling you now, it's more important than what fucking tube creamer should I buy. So there we are.
That comes at a close second, though.
Yeah. Maybe third. Well, at least we didn't spend talking 2 hours about Fender. I'm astounded we didn't have any questions on that tonight.
I'm not.
Are you
I
all
think
being,
everyone's over it.
Are you all being respectful and are you being more evolved humans or what? Maybe we'll talk about it next week. Good. Thank you everyone for being here. Brad Guitar Mantics 157 uses a laxative phone app. And JJ says Market OX4 confirmed those humbuckers are low wind Alnico 4s. Thanks,
There we
Dan.
go.
There you go. There you go. I'd love to know. I'd love to know what Mark thinks about Alnico grades. You know, whether he's using 4 now because it sounds like the old 3, or or none of the above. I don't mean to cast nasturtiums. Daniel Mincher's bored of hearing about Fender now. Yes, good. Andreas Johansson says, I honestly don't give a shit. I think that's how the vast majority of the world feels about it.
I saw on socials today someone said, look what I just bought, and it's a brand new Fender Tele, and I think most of the world is completely oblivious, and even people that play guitar are oblivious that this is going on. It's a small portion of people who feel passionately involved with the brand, and I think at the end of the day they're a big corporation. You know, funnily enough, not as big as Tom Ann.
Not quite.
Or Sweetwater.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? But they're turning, was 900 million they turned over last year. They're a massive corporation.
Yeah.
And they make corporate decisions. That's what big corporations do. I think so many of us have these romantic attachments to it because the brand means so much to us and always will. It's not the same company as it was in the 60s. It's very different. You know. But anyway.
G Barge, I'm going to agree with you because Greg, our friend Greg Barge, has been involved in legal stuff all his life, and or at least most of his working life. And he says, I look at the Fender thing from a legal perspective, indeed. And he says the PR thing is separate. It's a debacle. It is. It really is. It really is. Good. Thank you, everyone. Todd Roy says, what's Friday's show, Mick? I'm pretty sure it's going to be... Actually, it's a really good question. It's going to be Jack Roosh.
Oh, yeah, that was so good.
Yeah, so grab yourself a beverage and have a guitar in hand for that one, because Jack shows us some really nice stuff and talks extremely knowledgeably about playing and some things you can try and all of that. And it was a real pleasure to have him on the show. So Dustin Thiessen says, Big Corps couldn't give a flying about their customers. I totally agree. Having worked for one. Yeah, so it's all good. Do we like our guitars, regardless of what they say on the headstock? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Good. Thanks for being here, everyone. We appreciate it.
Sure do.
And we've had a couple of examples this week. We get them every week, but we've had a couple of specific ones this week that remind us that this community is important and being here is important.
Yep.
And thank you for being part of it and for being decent human beings. We appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. We do appreciate all of you that want to come and hang out with us and talk about guitars. You know, everything that's going on makes just as much sense to do that.
Play us out, Dan. We'll see you Friday. burger for tea tonight. You've been a very good girl, Rosie, not barking. Fly.